Welcome all to today's session, yet another session by Captain Prabhunath, so who's a CPP as well as PCI. So we have already experienced his session last Sunday. So he'll be continuing with today's topic of international business in his own unique style. So over to you, Captain Saab. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abhay sir, as usual, for making my Sunday, very, very useful. आप नहीं होते तो ये संडे फिर एक ऐसे ही वेस्ट लेजिंग अराउंड beer, late breakfast, no meaningful activity. Thank you so much to you and all those CPP killers who are so committed that they are sparing their Sunday. So God bless such knowledge seekers. So with this, let's start. And just a sec. Okay, so hope you guys are relaxed now, right? All set? It's akin to morning shows of the yesteryears, but it's a more productive morning show, 10 to 12, right? So hope you're all chilled up and you are here with an open mind, right? Don't be under any pressure. Just let it flow freely. And that's the best way to learn, right? Don't be worried about certification, marking up questions and all. Just be a curious learner. I think that's the key to success in any exam, and CPP is no exception. मुझे मूवीज में ये कभी समझ में नहीं आया कि ये स्लाइड दिखाते क्यों हैं कि नो एनिमल्स हैव बीन हार्म्ड. मुझे तो हमेशा से लगता है दे शुड से दैट नो ह्यूमन हैज बीन हार्म्ड. आई डोंट नो वेयर दिस वर्ल्ड इज गोइंग, but I am very sensitive to all the human feelings. So a disclaimer here, gentlemen, to all of you, that we have been very sensitive to all human feelings.
तुमने कभी किसी से प्यार किया? कभी किसी को दिल दिया? मैंने भी दिया.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we all present here in some form or the other have witnessed CPP. Either we have given CPP, right, or we are in the process of giving CPP or somebody. I mean, many of us, many legions have already done it many years ago. So, right. So don't be under pressure that you are the first one to attempt it. It's very easy to do. It's just that you need to set your timelines. I can understand that for some of you, CPP is a make or break, but not sure that it should be that critical a situation, right? Don't link it to your life's outcome. It's just a certification, right? So take it that way only, give that much importance. But yes, I know professionally it is important. So you will have to give in some effort to clear this. Okay. Many of us start this journey, but what happens, we give up midway under various pretexts, excuses. No, I don't have time. I don't have resources. No, I am under pressure. But Jamin, put a timeline to this certification and don't leave it in between, right? If you have once started the journey, complete it, and your juniors particularly, and in fact your seniors also will measure you that how serious you were in this presentation, in this preparation for the certification. So once started, I'll request you to go on and kill it. ये स्लाइड जो है समर्पित है रीजन को, राइट? और इसमें एक सबसे बड़े जो लीजेंड है वो हैं अभय जी, जो आई डोंट नो कितने सालों से इस जर्नी में इतने सारे लोगों की मदद कर रहे हैं. तो ही इज द ट्रू रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ऑफ ए सेल्फलेस सर्विस. बहुत से लोग आए
and the Oscar goes to
और वो वापस चले गए, राइट? बट अभय जी वहीं के वहीं खड़े हैं, इतने लोगों को प्रोत्साहित करते हैं, प्रेरित करते हैं. इट्स नॉट इजी. सो थैंक यू सो मच अभय जी. आई टेक दिस स्लाइड टू थैंक यू in particular and ACS Rain Journal for undertaking this noble cause to helping upgrade the security profession, which is so very essential, important.
So that's nice of you, but we must acknowledge that without mentors like you, this cannot continue, sir. We are grateful to you. Thank you so much.
So kind of you, Abhay ji. अब जो पिछले सेशन में थे, आई एम नॉट श्योर कितने लोग थे, मैंने पिछले सेशन में भी ये स्लाइड्स चलाई थी, लेकिन उस टाइम पे उस लीजेंड्स की फोटो थी वहां पे, राइट? इस बार मैंने वो जो फोटो है ना, वो लीजेंड्स की हटा दी है, क्योंकि लीजेंड्स हो गए हिस्ट्री, यानी कि अब कालीन भैया जो है वो हिस्ट्री हो गए हैं, और अब उनकी गद्दी का जो संभालेंगे गुड्डू पंडित या गोलू दीदी। तो आप हैं वो गुड्डू पंडित और गोलू दीदी, जो सीपीपी की जो कुर्सी है, गद्दी है, उस पे कब्जा करेंगे, राइट? इसलिए उन लीजेंड्स को हमने हिस्ट्री बना दिया अभी। और
And the Oscar goes to.
and the Oscar and the CPP certification goes to all of you who are present here. अब
And the Oscar goes to.
तो अब चलते हैं आज के जो खास जो टॉपिक है, राइट? और यस, अब ये जो चैप्टर 8 है, आई होप द स्लाइड इज विजिबल, राइट? एक सेकेंड।
यस सर।
यस सर, ओके गुड, थैंक यू। बीच बीच में दोस्त जस्ट रीइंफोर्स कर दिया करें, जब भी आपको स्लाइड ना दिखे, मेरी आवाज ना पहुंचे, कई बार पता नहीं चलता है फ्लो में ना, हम भी भूल जाते हैं। सो एंड देन इट बिकम्स अ फियास्को। सो टुडेस टॉपिक इंटरनेशनल बिजनेस, व्हिच इज चैप्टर 8, राइट? ये काफी इंटरेस्टिंग है, मतलब आई वेंट थ्रू द मटेरियल वंस अगेन and I found that it may be important from exam perspective. It is certainly, because there are a lot of key terms, no key strategies, but from a professional perspective, no, it is very interesting for all of us to go through this chapter, and it gives you, a varied perspective that why countries go abroad, why do they do international businesses, why do they go into so many geographies and countries when they can easily make money. They are successful companies अपने home turf पे वो already बहुत successful है, right? So it is interesting कि इतना risk होता है, हम एक सिटी से दूसरी सिटी relocate करने पे इतना सोचते हैं, एक जॉब से दूसरी जॉब चेंज करने में इतना सोचते हैं, and these companies leave their home countries and go to such far away continents and countries. So कुछ तो ऐसा होता होगा which propels them to take this risk, right? Every country is full of some risk, or rather a bouquet of risk, I'll say. So from अगर आप इस नजरिए से इस चैप्टर को पढ़ेंगे तो ज्यादा मजा आएगा, और काफी अच्छी टर्म्स भी हैं इसमें, जो एज ए सिक्योरिटी प्रोफेशनल, अगर जब आप बिजनेस कम्युनिकेशन करते हैं अपने सीनियर से और अदर डिपार्टमेंट के जो प्रोफेशनल्स हैं, and if you use those terms and that perspective, more importantly, I am sure it's going to add value to your personality as a very well-rounded professional and not just a pure security professional. अब ये पिक्चर जो मैंने ली है, ये सिंबलाइज करता है बिजनेस भले ही दुनिया को रूल करता हो, बहुत से बिजनेसेस करते हैं मेनी कंट्रीज में, बट आई पर्सनली वांट यू टू रूल द वर्ल्ड, एंड आई वांट यू टू बिलीव दैट यू हैव द पावर, to someday rule the world in a way that you will become a multinational professional, and you will travel countries, you'll go as business head to different countries, regions. So that's my aim or my desire for all of you. That's why this picture, which symbolizes that you are the king of the world, right? Or someday you will become king. Okay. Now, the importance of international business. Why international business is important? Any thoughts? Okay, चलो thoughts बाद में लेंगे आपसे, थोड़ा सोच के रखिए. Okay, so international business, offers companies access to new customers and markets, and of course enhanced revenues, profits, growth. तभी कोई जाएगा ना. Why will somebody go into an unknown market unless he sees significant increase in revenues, profits, long-term growth, right? And selling in multiple countries allows companies to capture economies of scale. हमने last 2 chapters में भी economies of scale पे बात की थी, in areas like product development, manufacturing, and marketing. Now companies in industries relying on natural resources, that natural resources तो हर country में equally distributed नहीं है, right? So if the company, those are on the mineral mining, precious metal kind of business, they will definitely go to geographies which has the deposit of these minerals. So that's another reason that industries which rely on natural resources will often need to operate internationally to access raw material more efficiently at the source. And companies can leverage their core competencies to extend their market leadership position from the domestic market to the regional or global levels. So these are some of the booties, the trophies which the companies look for when they decide to venture into international business, right? There could be many more, right? It could be dominance, it could be to grab market share, but these are all primarily driven by desire to increase revenues, profits, etc., etc. Now, of course, this is full of complexity. Even domestic businesses are so complex. So imagine the level of complexity when you decide to go for international business. So it will have home country advantage to the companies who are there with against whom you will be competing. Then it has a location-based advantage, political and economic condition, currency, and exchange rate risks हैं, correct? So now international strategy requires you or the business leaders, whoever deciding, understanding the unique advantages and challenges of different countries. Now, home countries provide certain industry-specific advantages that must be leveraged, like countries like India, which has no demographic dividend. Labor costs are comparatively lesser as compared to Europe, US, and other developed countries. Then the consumer market is huge. So similarly, every country has certain advantages. Now, home countries provide certain industry-specific advantages that must be leveraged. So somebody who's looking at grabbing a market share of India and the cost of production is less, any business would think that it makes sense to come to India and set up their manufacturing base. Or we will see there are various ways to get into an international market. So home countries provide certain industry-specific advantages that must be leveraged. Location-based advantages mean certain value chain activities are better suited to particular regions. Political and economic conditions can create more favorable business climate in some countries. Currency exchange risk must be managed when operating in foreign markets, and differences in buyer preferences present challenges in customizing versus standardizing products and services. We will see what are the challenges of following different strategies, whether you want to sell one standard product across the geographies or you want to tweak it to suit the local taste of each country. We'll see going ahead. I mean, this is an interesting chapter. I must advise you that you please read it. But by the way, just a poll, how many people have read this chapter before joining this call or maybe previously also? Okay, कोई बात नहीं, अगर जिन्होंने पढ़ा है ठीक है, बट जिन्होंने नहीं पढ़ा है वो ज्यादा स्मार्ट है, बिकॉज उन्हें पता ही है कि यहाँ तो हम पढ़ने ही वाले हैं, पढ़ाने ही वाले हैं, तो डोंट वरी. जिसने नहीं पढ़ा ही इज मच स्मार्टर. सो वी विल कवर ऑल द टॉपिक्स हियर एंड वील ट्राई टू हेल्प यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस चैप्टर वेरी वेल. एंड और जो मुझे नहीं आएगा, आई विल रिक्वेस्ट अभय जी टू हेल्प अस आउट बिकॉज ही इज द encyclopedia of CPP, I'll say. So it seems nobody has studied, so we have a house full of smart people, right?
Sir, I'm still not a CPP.
Those who coach people go to IIT, themselves never go to IIT, but they mint a lot of money, and more importantly, they share more knowledge than the collective knowledge of IITians. So that's the way I see it. So we discussed this, gentlemen, that what are the complexities of international strategy. Let's move ahead. I mean, this could be definitely an exam question, the diamond of national competitive advantage. तो इसको आप जरूर इस पे ध्यान दें और इस हीरे को याद कर लीजिए अगर आप खरीद नहीं सकते तो, because I'm sure this may surely fall into, this should fall into the exam question paper, right? So the diamond of national competitive advantage is a model developed by Michael Porter. We all know, I mean, just हम सब ने जिसने भी थोड़ी बहुत मैनेजमेंट पढ़ी है, definitely पोर्टर साहब का नाम कहीं ना कहीं तो सुना ही होगा. To explain the factors that contribute to a country's competitiveness in a particular industry. Now, demand conditions, refer to the size, growth, potential, and nature of domestic buyers' needs in the home market. Differences in population, income, and demographics can create variations in market size and growth across countries. Now, the other element of this diamond is factor conditions, which describes the availability of quality and cost inputs like labor, knowledge, capital, natural resources that firms in any industry require. So the relevant factors vary by industry to industry. Now, related and supporting industries refers to the presence of a cluster of related and complementary industries which can foster innovation and productivity. For example, if a particular country is very niche in automotive production, right? So it is very, very obvious that around those few key leaders in automotive industry, there'll be a lot of auto part makers or the suppliers of those niche companies who will establish their setup in the close vicinity of these industry, and that will create a very, very flourishing innovation center for the automotive industry, right? That's what it means, the related and supportive industries. It's cluster. I mean, you see, like Bardi in Himachal is a pharmaceutical cluster. Pithampur in MP near Indore is again a pharma cluster. Similarly, there are many clusters, and it helps industries to coexist and flourish. Okay, so related and supporting industries refers to the presence of a cluster of related and complementary, that's the word, industries which can foster innovation and productivity. Now, firm strategy refers to structure and rivalry relate to how the business environment in a country shapes management practices, organizational structures, and competitive dynamics. Factors like trust, cooperation, and individualism can influence these. So together, these four broad factors create the diamond of national competitive advantage. So it's the framework of assessing the competitive advantage of any country. So you as a business leader, when you have to decide whether you want to go to any particular country, you can use this four Porter's framework to assess the competitive advantage of that particular country, right? Which can explain why certain industries thrive in particular countries and some may not. Okay, so after the diamond, let's go to the strategic options for entering international market.
Sir, may I ask a question on last slide, sir?
Sure, sir.
So there was a word factor. So what all things we want to account into factor, or just some examples so that we can correlate it easily?
Okay, so just a sec, sir. So we said that these factors can describe the availability, quality, and cost of inputs like labor. For example, I mean, previously also I gave example of India, but in this on
got
this
it now,
same
sir.
line,
Got it now.
you got it,
So
na?
those, yeah, got it. Those four words are more than perfect to understand, sir.
Yeah.
And sir,
So
when
sorry.
we say this is something which is, this whole slide is something which is correlating to national competitive advantage.
Yes.
So when we say that firm strategy, structure, and rivalry, so it means that country is specific strategy, or it's when it is a word written firm, that means it's a organization strategy, or what we mean to say here?
Sir, it's your assessment of that particular country. It's not your strength or weaknesses. It's the strength, weaknesses, opportunities of the countries where you want to
Country.
open your international business. It's not
Now got it,
yours.
sir. Now got it. Now got it. We mean to say that how this country wants to promote and what they have in terms of strategy,
No,
structure, or
sir.
rivalry.
It's a framework. See, for example, you're based in India, right? Now you want to open your operations in, for example, Bangladesh. So this Porter's diamond framework will help you to assess the competitiveness of Bangladesh for your particular set of business.
Got it
That
now,
when
sir. Got it.
when you
Got
want
it.
to go to Bangladesh, you will see whether it has the desired labor quality. Does it, the land policies are okay, resources are there. I mean, whatever business you are going to do, is the supporting infrastructure, raw material, manpower, is available in that particular country or not. If Bangladesh doesn't fits into that framework, maybe Vietnam fits better. You will go to Vietnam, you will leave Bangladesh.
Vietnam. Correct, correct. We'll
Right,
compare
sir?
that what suits better for us, or which
Yes.
country is giving me a better opportunity in terms of entire gamut. Then I'll choose
Yes,
that
yes,
instead of.
sir. It helps
Got
you
it.
to decide which country to go. Is it okay, sir?
Perfect, sir. Grateful.
अरे सर वेलकम वेलकम. ये क्वेश्चन ही तो जान है सेशंस की. अदरवाइज तो ये मोनोलॉग सत्यनारायण भगवान की कथा है. If people don't ask, interject, no, we all benefit by mutually asking each other. Okay, let's move to strategic options for entering international market. This picture is also symbolic, gentlemen, in a way that I'm prompting you to think global. You know, from your cabins, whichever floors you are, always think of going global. You know, whether it is as a personal, individual, professional, and if you are entrepreneur or thinking to be an entrepreneur, think global. I mean, that's the symbolic essence of this picture. Now, let's have a look at the strategic options for entering international markets, right? So you can see that there are various elements, right? Like exporting is a great initial strategy for entering international market. It allows you to sell your products abroad with minimum capital investment. We will see further details going ahead. I mean, exporting simply means that you are selling your product into a different country. You are not going there, you're not manufacturing, you're not doing any tie-ups, right? You're not giving any franchisee. You're just selling your product through existing retailers or distributors there. So exporting is one option. Licensing your products or technology to foreign firms can be a smart move if you have the valuable IP but lack the resources to enter markets directly. So companies which are in high tech, high R&D field, pharma and all, can use this route of licensing. They give license and somebody produces the material for you and sells it under your brand. Then franchising, we all know what is franchising. So franchising, right? And we have seen multiple global franchises in India, KFC, McDonald's, so many, right? Domino's, everything. So franchising can be effective way to expand your service or retail business internationally by leveraging local partners. Then another option is establishing your own foreign subsidiary, right? That gives you full control over operations, but requires bigger investment upfront. Then you can get into strategic alliances and joint ventures with local companies and can provide valuable market knowledge and shared resources for international expansion. So these are some of the ways through which you can enter international market. You can follow an export strategy, licensing strategy, franchising strategy, foreign subsidiary, strategic alliance. Okay, now let's look at some of the nuances of export strategy. So obviously every strategy has certain advantages and certain challenges, I'll say, or disadvantages to be simpler. So advantages is that it needs minimal capital investment, utilizes existing production capacity of another vendor in that particular home country, allows for gradual international market testing, can leverage economies of scale. If you're producing too much in your own country, you just have to ship those goods to the country where you want to sell, export, and then you can do it easily. I mean, this is one of the cheapest or the lesser costliest way to start your international operations. Now, what could be the challenges is that you are vulnerable to exchange rate fluctuations, high shipping costs for distant markets, or that happens more when there are bottlenecks in the sea routes. Like we have seen Red Sea crisis, we saw the Suez Canal crisis. So these are cost additions to know your export strategy. Then potential trade barriers and tariffs. We keep listening these days. Most of the governments are becoming hyper nationals. Everyone is becoming far rightist and putting a lot of trade barriers. So this is also another bottleneck. Then reliance on foreign distributors. You have to depend on the distributors of that particular country for your goods to be sold. Now, what are the key aspects which you must think before adopting this strategy is that success of an export strategy depends on what relative cost competitiveness of home country production, keep production and shipping cost competitive, secure adequate local distributors, and marketing support. Anybody wants to add here? So export strategies can be a great way to expand your businesses internationally with minimal upfront investment. And we just discussed the key advantages such as using existing production capacity, gradual market testing, and potential economies of scale. There are some challenges like vulnerability to exchange rate fluctuation, high shipping costs, trade barriers, reliance upon. I mean, we just discussed all this, right? So these are some of the. So the ultimate success depends on the relative cost competitiveness of your home production base compared to target export market. For example, if the cost of production in your home country is greater than the cost of production in the country where you want to go and sell, it makes more sense to establish your production line there and then sell the product. But I mean, every strategy will have some challenges, right? And some advantages. So let's have a look at what are the other strategies to, so licensing. And now licensing is another